Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody out there. How the heck are you? Christmas is just around the corner. It's kind of crazy. I feel like it snuck up. I know Thanksgiving was later than usual, so I think it made Christmas feel like it came earlier, but I gotta be honest, Christmas has never been my favorite holiday. I know everybody loves it and gets into it. I love Christmas lights. I think Christmas lights are awesome, but I feel like Christmas has just it's gotten too much about presents, and people stress way too much about it. And I honestly feel like Christmas should be about being comfortable in your sweats or your pajamas, playing board games, playing Wii and Nintendo games, and against each other, like Wii tournament bowling games, and playing board games and watching movies, and just get a present for each other and call it good. I just feel like Christmas has become incredibly commercialized and stressful, and people think that kids need 1,000 gifts and they're always trying to outdo it. And I get it. Like, you want to spoil your kids and get them things, especially if you come from a background where you didn't have things. So now you want your kids to have the stuff that you wanted. But that's just it. Like, we should want to play outside and build forts and go fishing and all of that, play in the mud and ride horses and play with animals outside and go camping. I mean, I'm not saying because that's my version of a good time that it has to be your version of a good time. I'm just saying that I feel we've gotten past the point of Christmas. If you're religious, you have a different meaning of Christmas. And I just think that it should be so much more about giving and helping others less fortunate. Like right now in the state of Washington, there have been massive floods. So right before Christmas and during a time that it's cold, people are without a home. Their Christmas present is homelessness. And who knows if they had insurance? And if they did, we all know that insurance companies aren't quick to resolve anything. They aren't quick to hand out money and help. And a lot of them try to find ways to get out of helping. And who knows if these people had insurance? So I feel like Christmas should be about that kind of thing. I have always had my kids forever. We would do things for the military. There are so many veterans that don't get to there's so many military men and women that don't get to see their families for Christmas. And so we would make packages for the military and send it to them. You can get a list of things that they want and need and are allowed to have. And we have gone to assisted living facilities because that's another place people overlook. There are a lot of people in assisted living and memory care facilities, nursing facilities that do not have family members that live near them, or family members that are alive, or family members that care. And people forget about these poor men and women alone in, nursing homes and assisted living. And I'm not saying the people at these facilities don't do their very best to try to make them feel loved and appreciated and do activities and all of that, but that's not the same as family. So people forget that, and I used to take my kids into because I also worked at assisted living facilities, so we would take the kids and bring cards and bring our dog and just spend time. I feel like it's about time because you don't know how much you have. And it's cliche, and there's a million movies and bumper stickers and calendars and quotes about time and not having, we don't know how much we have. But the reason that we have all the bumper stickers and the t-shirts and the quotes about that It's true. It's so true. For all I know, the minute that I end this podcast, it could be my last podcast. It's morbid. I don't want to think about that. But we don't know. And so time is just so precious. And I've learned the hard way that people don't have a lot of it, because everybody that was important to me and that I've loved back before I had my kids, of course, and my grandsons and grandkids, died when I was really young. All of my family members that, were stable and I loved died when I was young. And then my mom, well, I guess she didn't die. I can't say I'm young, but she passed before I thought she was going to, under circumstances that I still to this day, because it's true, blame the Biden administration for, and the Democrats that were on board with all of those policies put in place in Oregon. I 100% blame you guys for many people dying alone and scared. But that's a topic I won't get on right now, because I have a lot of hostility and resentment for the people that forced vaccinations and forced people to be alone and scared and die alone. That's just unforgivable to me. I don't know why we haven't continued to bring it up and make sure that every single person that voted for that crap isn't haunted by it, because I'm haunted by the fact that my mom had to die absolutely scared and lonely, and I didn't get to comfort her in any way. And so many people died that way. And so many people lost their jobs and their income because they didn't want to inject something in their bodies that now we're finding out wasn't the safest, most healthy thing to do. And then you shamed people. You censored actual facts and information. I mean, it's the highest level of evil I can imagine. And I don't know why we don't constantly bring it up and remind people for every death that occurred because of them. They like these Muslims to be able to ring their praises and ring their bells so that everybody has to listen to it. So since they're into that, since a lot of liberals and Democrats are into forcing things upon people, like the Muslim faith upon the people in Michigan and everywhere else, where they can just have their prayer blasted out for everybody. But I'm not allowed, though, to go down the street with my car blaring. That's not okay. I'm not allowed if you're a Christian, you're not allowed to now wear a t-shirt that says you're a Christian or a cross that shows you believe in God. But you can, though, shout death to America and get away with it. You're on board with that. So, like we've discussed in a million podcasts, if you're for that crap, I want you to have it blasted out loud the way that you make people listen to all of your garbage every single day for every death you're responsible for, which is a lot. So much blood on your hands, especially if you count Afghanistan. So much blood, especially if you count all the sex trafficking. So I think that it should be talked about every day until Democrats are just so tired of it, and then keep talking about it, because I'm so tired of hearing about people being racist and bigoted for having a thought or opinion that's different. And now Nicki Minaj, poor Nicki Minaj, this woman is preaching self-love, to love yourself, to value yourself, to honor and respect yourself, and preaching that all women and men, all kids, should find themselves beautiful and unique, and they shouldn't have to change who they are. How is that wrong? And now she's being attacked, and Democrats are wanting to cancel her because she has a different point of view, and her point of view is, instead of evil and intolerance and hate and unacceptance, like the liberals are preaching right now, because they want people to be hateful and miserable like their hearts. Now, all of a sudden, because she's preaching self-care, self-love, self-worth, preaching that no matter what you look like, you are beautiful, preaching that it's okay for a boy to feel like a boy. So let me get this straight. Liberals are pissed because they want boys to feel like anything other than boys. And if a boy doesn't accept himself for being a boy and love himself for being a man, that's wrong. He has to be transgender. He has to be gay. He has to identify as a woman for him to be loved and valued. That's the message that you want out there in the universe. The message that the liberals are putting out there is hate yourself if you're white. Hate yourself if you're blonde hair and blue-eyed. Hate yourself if you're beautiful. Hate yourself if you're intelligent. Hate yourself if you love everybody and you love God. Hate yourself if you love this country. And if you don't, then somehow you deserve to be bullied, censored, assassinated. You deserve to have your children taken away from you because you don't want them mutilated because you find them beautiful the way that they are. And liberals are like, nope, they're not beautiful the way they are. You must cut off their penises. You must cut off their breasts. You must pierce them and dye their hair. And then they'll be beautiful. They will be a masterpiece once we cut off their genitalia and we mutilate them. Then, and only then, will they be beautiful. Only when they are confused about who they love and who they are, only then will they be beautiful. You have to question yourself and loathe yourself and be in self-agony because you don't know who you are. And then you're worthy of love and acceptance. When you are miserable and you mutilate yourself, that's a good thing. That is what the liberals are dishing out right now. And Nicki Minaj ain't having any of it. Turning Point USA and Republicans have a different message. And that message is, please don't mutilate yourself. If you feel that passionate about wanting to cut off your genitalia, cut off your body parts and have drastic surgery, then I feel you'll still think that way when you're 21 or 25 in men's cases, because that's when their hormones have finally chilled out a bit. Give yourself some time to really do the research, to really look inward, to have your hormones actually settle down and kick in. That is what Republicans are saying. Why is that hateful? Why is that a hateful message? Why is it hateful for Nicki Minaj to say, hey, if you are tall, skinny, black, white, blonde-haired, blue eyes, brown-haired, brown eyes, red hair, whatever color of skin, hair, eyes you have, whatever religion you are, however short or fat you are, love yourself. You are a unique, beautiful person, and you should not hurt yourself. That's a great message. But liberals are like, nah, ew, and it's coming from Nicki Minaj, the same person that wrote these graphic lyrics. First of all, Cardi B. Do I have to say any more? Yeah, you Democrats and liberals are like, oh, shit. We frickin' love Cardi B so much that Kamala Harris, while running for president, Cardi B was the spokesperson for her and the Democrat Party. Cardi B, who can barely put together sentences. She is dumb as a box of rocks. Now listen, it's not her fault. Not hating on her. I'm sure she's come from an interesting background and it's not her fault. But she's dumb and nasty and gross and doesn't have any respect for herself at all. Zero respect for herself. And she seems, from what I've seen, so I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but it appears she's not the best mom. And yet you're going to hate on Nicki Minaj, who put together a very wonderful interview. Her interview at Turning Point USA was fantastic and well thought out and intelligent and kind and truthful. And she didn't dress like a hoochie mama. Cardi B literally can't put together sentences, which is why they chose her, because neither can Kamala or Biden or most of the crazy extreme liberals. And yet, you're going to sit there and call us uneducated. And you're going to sit there and say how terrible it is for Nicki Minaj to, what, tell people to respect each other, respect their own bodies, to love themselves? That's what you're pissed off about? You're pissed off because she swapped sides? There is not a side. I've said this over and over again. I don't care if you're liberal, Democrat, independent, Republican, Satan worshiper, whatever. I think that everybody is worthwhile. And I love everybody. I just don't care for people that are about assassinating and censoring and bullying others for any reason, no matter what the reason is. I'm not about people that commit fraud and believe in mutilation of children, and again, censoring and assassinating and bullying and attacking and firing people that have a difference of opinion. So if you're into that, whether you're a Republican, a conservative, a Jewish person, a whatever your background is, I'm not okay with that. It's not a liberal or a Republican thing. I'm just seeing it from the liberals right now. Of course, I don't think Republicans or Trump are perfect. I don't think any human is perfect, because Republicans are humans, and I don't think humans are perfect. I think that most politicians, Republican or Democrat, are shady mofos and can't be trusted. I think they start out maybe wanting genuinely to help the country and help others, but they get jaded because it's a shady, corrupt system. I think they're all corrupt. I just think it's some more than others. And I see it from the Democrats throughout history. You got geese coming in, sorry. There's some geese. They are podcast bombing. But I've been seeing it for the last about 15 years coming from the liberals. And if it comes out of a Republican or anybody, I'm against it. I'm against anyone acting like an asshole. I don't like violence. I'm for guns, having the right to bear arms. That doesn't mean I'm for violence. That's another thing. It cracks me up because a lot of liberals are like, oh, you are for guns. I think they forget that it's not just for shooting people. It's for defending ourselves. And that is what people usually want them for, is for hunting or for protection. Yes, of course, there are people out there that want it to harm others. Of course. Just like when people drink. Not everyone plans on getting in a car, drinking and driving, getting in a car and killing someone. It's not their plan, but it sure does happen. And they made that conscious choice to drink and drive, knowing they could potentially kill themselves and or others. And yet you don't see anybody banning alcohol. And there are far more deaths from alcohol-related incidences than guns. There are far more deaths from driving in a car, alcohol or not. And we're not banning cars. We're not banning vaping. We're not banning cigarettes, all of which are horrendous, and kids under the age can have access to. So Nicki Minaj was saying her opinion, not in a derogatory way. She didn't call anybody names. She was thoughtful and sounded intelligent. And people are like, I'm going to censor her. Do you think she gives a shit? Why do you think that you are so amazing that when you say, I'm going to censor her, that she gives a rat's ass? Oh, really? Really, Karen? Are you going to censor me, Karen? You probably never listened to her anyways. I will bet you $1,000 that most of the people that say they're going to censor her didn't really listen to her anyway. So there's that. again, I've always said this whole protest thing is a bunch of horseshit. I don't feel like it does anything. I feel like if you want to solve issues, you need to actually solve issues. Like if you want to solve the problem with dogs being mistreated, then we need to really promote getting pets spayed and neutered. We need to really promote people, not getting pets when they don't have the right lifestyle. We need to help out shelters. We need to volunteer. All of those things. I don't think going around going, pets need help. Sure, that brings attention. And maybe if you're bringing attention to something, someone goes, oh, I'll look into it. That's great, but I don't think it does as much good as people act like. You standing outside yelling obscenities doesn't help illegal aliens. I think opening up your doors, not locking your doors, opening up your windows, tearing down your fences, getting rid of your security, unlocking your door, and giving the address to your house would help. I think if you share your address out on social media and you house these illegal immigrants, since you're really into everybody being over here and having rights and saying that they are not dangerous. None of these people are dangerous and none of these people have committed any crimes, then I would kindly ask you to post your address and phone number and information all over every news media outlet and social media outlet. Tear down your fence. You better not have a fence. You better not have a door or anything, because remember, according to you, borders are bad. Safety is bad. And all the immigrants are good. All these illegal immigrants are good. None of them have committed crimes. So if you're not worried about that, then again, invite them to your house or help them become legal citizens. Help them fill out the paperwork and take care of the paperwork necessary to become legal citizens. You could do that. Sorry, now there's a plane. First geese, now plane. But you could absolutely help in some way other than standing outside and screaming. I would like you to raise your hand, all of the people who have stood outside throwing Molotov cocktails and burning down flags and burning down cars and screaming and yelling and holding up signs, who half the people don't know what they're talking about when they're asked valid questions like, hey, why are you out here protesting? We're protesting bad things. Oh, okay, what bad things are you protesting? Well, the bad things that Trump is doing. Okay, like, what bad things is Trump doing? He's doing bad things because he's a Nazi and a fascist and a bigot, racist, misogynist, everything. Can you define any of those terms? Do you know what bigot or misogynist or fascist? Of course I know what they mean. You have to be an idiot not to know what they mean. Okay, so could you tell me the definition of any of those? I'm not going to talk to you anymore. That's the interviews. There you go. And scene. Yeah, that's the kind of conversations. And then people wonder why they're not taken seriously and why protests, like when you say, so raise your hand if you've helped an illegal immigrant, or you helped Tesla, if you helped Elon not make any cars. Remember, you were all for Elon Musk when he had Tesla. You were pro-Tesla, you were pro-electric cars, and now you're burning them, which, by the way, is way worse for the environment. You fucking retard. Yes, I said the R word, because you're retarded. If you're burning cars in the name of the environment, you're retarded, and Darwin is knocking at your door. But protests don't help illegal immigrants become citizens. Protests don't help with Trump not being president anymore. Protests don't help. You have to actually go out and, here's something hard for a lot of people to grasp. Are you ready? Work. Oh my God, I said the W word. I said work. Participate. You had to participate without destroying things. I know it's hard for a lot of you out there because burning and destroying somehow means that you've helped the environment, helped illegal immigrants, and made Trump not president anymore, because that's really tracked well in the past. So it's just interesting that is the definition of helping and contributing, way to go. You've contributed nothing while you're locking your doors at night. Because I'm pretty sure most of you out there protesting against the border, protesting us securing our border, locks their doors. Pretty sure you shut your windows. Probably a lot of you have fences and or security. I'm sure the majority of you don't just allow strangers into your home. I'm sure a lot of you don't allow strangers into your home. So you need to, because if you're not allowing strangers into your home, why? You have literally no reason whatsoever, according to your logic, to not allow illegal immigrants and just strangers in general that need a home. Any homeless person should, under your logic, be able to waltz into your home at any time and tell you to take down your, if you're, whatever religion you are, nope, you got to take it down because they don't like it. And you have to sing the songs they like. You have to eat the food they like. You have to wear the clothes they like. Because according to you, forcing these things upon others is the right thing to do, is the proper thing to do. And if you don't allow people to force themselves upon you, you're a bigot, racist, fascist, obia, phobia. If you don't allow everybody in to take over your home and eat your food, and you don't pay all of their bills, and you don't convert to whatever religion it is, and if you're a woman and you let these people into your home and you think that you don't have to wear a burqa and you think that you're allowed to do anything, to drive, to vote, to be educated, to look at another man, to wear perfume, to do anything whatsoever, you're wrong. And you better do what they tell you, or you're a fascist, racist, horrible bigot who deserves to be unalived, according to you, according to your logic. So why aren't you letting them in? Ask yourself that if you're out there complaining. Why do you lock your doors? Why do you shut your windows? Why do you have a fence and security? Why do you carry mace or learn martial arts? Why? Because again, according to you, everybody's fine and safety should not be a concern for anybody ever at any time. And if you're going to say they're two different things, they're not. It's all about security and not wanting bad people into your home. They're not, except for the fact that you're probably not going to have a terrorist into your home. The odds of you having a terrorist into your home, although if you keep letting these Muslims in, then maybe the odds have gone up a lot, and you can say that's racist and all of that, but I'm going by history. So again, if you're pro-Muslim, why aren't you allowing these people into your personal home? Not to your city, not to your state. That's different because you're expecting other people to deal with it. Just like it's a whole Martha's Vineyard thing. Martha's Vineyard and everybody in there was like, illegal immigrants, until they had to actually deal with it. When people actually have to deal with a problem, suddenly they're like, I wanted everybody else to deal with it. I didn't want to be bothered. I can't be bothered. I'm way too busy being an incredibly important person, doing absolutely nothing but talking big shit behind my computer screen. I am really big and important. I'm so into what I'm saying and think it's so valid and so correct, and I believe in it so much that I cover my face while asking ICE agents who get bullied and doxxed and shot to uncover theirs, while telling people in burqas that it's allowed for them to keep their faces covered. Which, by the way, are you allowed to wear hoodies or ski masks or even hats sometimes in stadiums, airports, or banks? The answer is no. That's the answer. The answer is no. You're not allowed to wear those things in stadiums or banks or airports. You can't wear them. You know why? It's a massive security issue. It's a huge safety issue. It's not okay for anybody, no matter where you're from or what your religion is, to wear a ski mask or have your hoodie on, or again, half the time, baseball hats in most places, because it is a massive security issue. So telling a person, a woman that's wearing a hijab, that they need to take it off in order to go into these places has nothing whatsoever to do with race. You stupid retard. You dumb, entitled, uneducated, following lemming that's hurting our country. Because of people like you are unaliving. People are going to be unalive because of your moronic, virtuous, self-righteous, holier-than-thou, virtue-signaling ass. It's you idiots that are going to have people killed, that have already had people killed. You already have blood on your hands, and you just can't stop because you got a taste of it. You got a taste of that blood, and you're like, yes. Yummy, yummy, that blood tastes good. I love the blood of people that died alone from COVID. I love the blood of women from the Middle East who get constantly unalived and raped and beaten and tortured from their men. I love when children mutilate themselves. I love harming military men. I love unaliving people just because they have a difference of opinion, like Charlie Kirk. It's your favorite pastime in the whole world is to unalive people, bully people, censor people, and hate on people just because of a difference of opinion, because you are a miserable human being who's also, say it with me, retarded. I'm saying all the things. I mean all the things. I am not sorry for the things I'm saying. I mean them. You're stupid. I know people with actual disabilities, with Down syndrome, with all kinds of mental disabilities that are far more intelligent and have far more common sense. Way more common sense and intelligence than these liberal extremists. Now, again, I have friends that are Democrat, and if I disagree, we just don't talk politics because they're OG Democrats. I can get on board with the OG Democrats, like Bill Maher. I don't agree with most of the things Bill Maher says, but he's logical. He's not violent. He's not a retard. He has common sense. I'm on board with Democrats and liberals and Republicans with common sense. I don't like Republicans, like I said, that act like fucking retards either. I don't like it. But you don't get to sit there and act like you're the better party when you do nothing. We can go all throughout history. You're again, I've said this over and over again. Democrats were so pro-slavery that they went to war with guns that they supposedly don't fucking believe in. They were like, we want slavery so bad that we are going to fight and go to war. We're going to kill. Because again, circling back to killing. What do Democrats like to do? Kill, bully, censor, talk out their ass lately. KKK, the Clintons, Obamas, they've done nothing good. And again, when you ask people, well, what good have they done? Well, I hate Trump. What the fuck does that have to do with what good has Biden, Obama, or Clinton? Tell me something that they have done. Tell me things that you believe in and admit when they've done bad things. But they can't. I can admit when Trump's an idiot. I do it all the time. I think half the time he puts his foot in his mouth, and half the time I'm just like, look, you're a good president, but don't talk because you sound stupid. You sound like a jackass, and you put your foot in your mouth all the time. I agree. I think he does. I like how J.D. Vance speaks. Trump, not so much. I can admit that. It's okay to admit when we're wrong because nobody's perfect. And thinking that you're perfect and standing up for a party that continues to do evil things does not make you virtuous and righteous and great and wonderful. It makes you a fucking moron. That is why Nicki Minaj is like, whoa, I have been really paying attention. I've really been watching and paying attention to what is being said and done to her and to others, and how people are treating her and others for having a difference of opinion. And when you're trying to ruin someone else's life because they disagree with you, you need to really, really, really take a good long look at yourself and go, why am I such a miserable, spiteful, horrible human being? And have I contributed anything to the world? Do I have a job? Am I a good parent, friend, coworker? Do I have a job? What do I contribute to this world? Who am I? Am I perfect? Am I a hard worker? Am I a good mom, a good spouse? Am I a good friend or daughter or son? And if your answer is yes, I say no, because we can always do better. We can always try to be better. So when you're sitting there, it's okay not to like other people. There's plenty of people out there I don't like. Clearly, I talk about it all the time on the podcast. I make it very clear. But I'm not going to hurt them. I'm not going to unalive them because they have a difference of opinion. I'm not going to wish terrible things because they have a difference of opinion. I'm not going to censor them. I may talk some shit about them. I may call them out. I may want very much to punch them in their face, but I'm not going to, because now I go to jail and it's not right. I can't hack jail. So we just need to look at ourselves and see, are we helping out the world? Are we helping anybody at all? Or are we just helping ourselves? Are we just pumping our own ego? Anyway, that's from Scrubs, in case you don't know. Are we just pumping our own ego? Filling our pride's cup just so full that we can't see past our own idiocracy? Come on, you're not a perfect human being. And trying to expect others to be perfect and never forgiving others and never giving grace just makes you a bitter person. And it's clear, we all see it. You ain't hiding from anybody. We see it. And you're going to die knowing that people think you're an evil wretch. Is that what you want people thinking of you? You want to get on social media and spew how much you want people to be assassinated and how happy you and grateful you are? Your kids are going to see that. Your grandkids are going to see that. Your coworkers are going to see that. That's your legacy? Not having any shred of dignity whatsoever? To me right now, we're lacking a lot of dignity, for sure. We're lacking grace, we're lacking dignity, we're lacking education and respect for ourselves and others. And man, it shows. And I'm sorry, but it's showing in the Democrat Party far more. When you worship Jasmine Crockett and you are cheering for people's assassinations and mad if the bullet missed, how in the fuck does that make you a good person? Seriously, how does that? If you can sit there and go, yep, I'm a good person for saying that, wow, you are going to be judged, whether you are religious or not. In some form, the universe, no matter what you believe, will judge you. You are going to be held accountable, whether it's karma, whether it's fate, whether it's God, whatever it is you believe in, you will be judged and you will be held accountable. So keep going. And then you wonder why kids turn out to be absolute horrific assholes. I can't stand to be around most people's children anymore because they're terrible. Because monkey see, monkey do. It's gross. But anyway, really, really, really trying extra hard to focus on the good. So I just did this entire podcast on being wah, wah, wah. And I need to, of course, not be, two wrongs don't make a right. I can't be following down this wormhole that the lemming left wants us to be in. I don't want to be miserable. I want to be happy. I want to contribute. I want to make a difference. I want people at my funeral not to think, wow, I can't think of a damn thing that she contributed or said or did that was worthwhile. I don't want that. That's just me. You do you, though. You absolutely do you. However you want your legacy to be, you're in charge of that. You're in charge of your own destiny, your own legacy. So, hey, if you want it to be that you're a bitter douche, cool. But lay off Nicki Minaj. Lay off people that have a difference of opinion. If they're not harming anyone, if they're not unaliving and bullying and censoring others, leave them alone. Even if you disagree, have a normal conversation. Anyway, my wish to you is for a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, whatever it is. I want you to have a good day. I want you to have a good life. I want you to be happy. And you know how you can continue to do that? Maybe listening to my podcast. I don't know. Maybe it'll make you angry. Maybe it'll make you have depressing thoughts. I don't know, but I hope not. Gosh, I hope not. I would assume you wouldn't continue to listen if it made you depressed. But anyway, thank you so much to everybody out there that has been listening. Again, I still don't have my intro or outro music. So those of you who just started listening to me, if you listen to my older podcast episodes, if you listen to my older episodes, my OG episodes, they have an intro, an outro, and sound far more professional. Now, when you listen to me, it just jumps right in to my melodious voice. Just kidding. So thank you for listening, because even though I still do not have a professional podcast, even though my podcast is still very unprofessional and sounds not the best at all, yet here you are being a champ, being a trooper, and listening, because you're fucking amazing, because you are rad, and I appreciate it. And I would appreciate it if you guys would tell other people, hey, there's this chick. She rambles a lot, and there's airplanes like currently and geese and crap in the background. And usually she babbles on and has no rhyme or reason. But hey, you should check her out. Anyway, I appreciate you all. I'm wishing you a fantastic day. Until next time.